This is Substratum Protocol, a survival mystery TTRPG from Pandion Games. It's a solo and multiplayer game where you play as the last scientists sent to investigate an Earth's core. The book is packed with lore, mechanics, and tools for running deep mystery-driven adventures. I'm excited to flip through it today with you on Tabletop Bookshelf's TTRPG Flipthrough. I'm Tom G, the owner and creator of Tabletop Bookshelf. So right away you can see as you flip through that the presentation here is stunning. The layout and artwork evoke this eerie kind of science horror vibe. It's a perfect for a game about descending into the unknown. And the first few pages, talk about what a role-playing game is and give you that quick reference, which is always useful. And then talks to you about the team and what that would look like. And talks about what the expedition looks like. Gives you an overview kind of what the gameplay experience is before you dive into it. And I think it's helpful for everyone who plays this game to at least read through the first few pages of this so they understand what they're getting into. Talks about the standard equipment that you're given as you're going on this exploration journey to the center of the Earth. And then it dives into character creation here, which can be done randomly. It gives you examples of scientific specialties here. You could probably pick one if you wanted to, but I always like going random. So you could be an aerologist, thermologist, physicist. And then you give some extra starting items to use. And finally, some personal questions and world building questionnaires. And these are requirements as you build out the character. So I like the idea of that session 0 being this collaborative experience of both building your characters and building the world at the same time. Gives you this idea of rules. Now this is Hints and Hijinks, which is based off of Breathless system. One of the core mechanics here is that when you use a skill, you step down in the polygon dice that you use. So if your skill was D12 and you use it, next time you can only use a D10. And it continues that way throughout the game. There are other mechanics as well. So there's stress. There's a stress mechanic. There are your storage units. There is this overclocking ability, which allows you to use a D12 on a skill check with a trade-off. And then there is a deep breath, and you can take a deep breath at any point to reset all your skills. But what this does is it introduces a complication, kind of that cinematic mechanic of, let's catch our breath. That's why it's called the Breathless system. Well, when that happens, there's always something that gets in the way of that or a new problem to create. So it kind of drives the story forward. It gives you a sense of what actions are and how you could use these actions, what the roles would be to do these actions. These are kind of like, gives you a kind of guide of what sort of things you should be doing in this roleplay experience. And then based on, and then they talks about what the travel experience looks like. So you can go through, 10 different levels here. And you can play this game as a one-shot and make it very quick, like almost a montage as you're traveling through this. It would still have to be, I would say, a longer one-shot. But I think this game probably operates best a session per sector. So that way you're doing a 10-session, game, 2-hour sessions. And I'm a fan of shorter session games. I think they're more accessible. Another core piece of this is you are trying to understand what is happening at this anomaly at the center of the Earth. And you do that by rolling anomaly questions. Collect these clues, and then you bring those clues together to write the narrative, to explain the mystery in the middle of the earth. And that is drawn from Brindlewood Bay mechanics. If you've ever played that game, which of course I have right here on my bookshelf as well. Let's take a look at that. If you ever get a chance to play this game, it's the same sort of idea where you're finding these clues and then you have to craft a narrative from those clues about what happened. So there's no pre-written answer to what the mystery is. Instead, it becomes a collaborative storytelling experience. Now, look at this. Again, this great artwork from Galen, the artist here. What I like about this exosuit idea is it's a fun character toy. I think if you are curious about playing this game and you see this exosuit with all these things that you can do with it, you're like, oh yeah, I want to play this game. Like, I can try all these different things out. Well, and it just looks cool. And then it goes into different things that you can do with this. So there are other, there's repair actions you can take. There's 3D printing you can do. Just a lot of tools in your toolbox as you go through this. Now, the other piece of the stress mechanic, the higher stress you have means the anomaly at the center of the earth has more influence on you. So you could start, as you can see here with this 3-eyed person, as you go deeper into the planet, you could start to get more anomalous yourself. And that allows you to have better understanding of what is happening at the anomaly, but also can cause more problems and complications for you and your party. Talks about the last hypothesis here and different deadly hazards. So this is optional that can add to the danger of the game if you want to make it more deadly, perhaps. There are solo rules. Here are the anomaly clues. I won't reveal them because they are meant to be secret, as well as that anomaly knowledge. It does give you a bestiary here, again with some nice like scientific looking illustrations here. But you can also roll and make up your own. But each of these are really imaginative, and they're really based around creating interesting encounters. So this is a land-walking jellyfish. It has tough electrified tendrils that probe the shores of damp, porous stones. It has adapted to consume caustic fluid. It can be used to recharge or overpower your suit. The tendrils can be secured in a series or parallel to modify the current. So again, like, this is not just a monster or a threat or something. It also is kind of a tool to be used. There's just interesting interactivity with all of these creatures. You can see here there's a lot of them. Lots of neat little details here. And also they do this marginalia, this little writing here on the margins about these, which I love. A nice touch. Reminiscent of some other books we've seen in here. Look at this. This is just, I think this is my favorite illustration in the book, showing the descent into the anomaly and all the artwork beside it. This is just a wonderful example of use of color, effective use of color, along with the storytelling and the potential space that's being shown within this multi-layered illustration. It's a game. It feels like a game when you look at it, but you can also see a story emerging from that sort of game-ish experience. And now it goes through here. This is a meaty part of the book. It talks about every different section here, dedicating a couple pages to it, and then also providing an encounter within each one. So you could think of, if you're having each session, each layer be a session, you probably have it revolve around one or two of these serious encounters within each section as your scientists are exploring, getting into trouble, and interacting with each other. until you finally get to the anomaly, which is very strange and has very weird things going on in it. And that's where the game ends. After you do that last hypothesis, you enact the plan. There is a final series of rolls, a really kind of climactic encounter where you describe how you plan to fix the anomaly. And it may work or it may not. Afterwards, you do a final montage. So you go forward 6 months and you go around and talk about how you've changed and how the world around you has changed. Everyone gets an opportunity as you end the game. So a great way to end an experience like that on a montage a little bit in the future. Again, the cool thing about this experience too is it can be done solo. It can be done GM-less with multiple people, and you could kind of use the table to roll and build the story. But you could also run it with a GM, playing as mission control and helping throw complications in and having a more guided experience. Who is this for? This game is for anyone who is remembers fondly maybe reading Michael Crichton books when they were a kid, or always loved thrilling science movie like maybe Armageddon or Twister or something like that really appealed to you, and you can, the story of science being heroic resonates with you. Finding truth, which really I think also feeds into this mystery genre really well. And so, if you're looking for that sort of experience, you want to do that with a group of your friends, and you want to have a sort of mystery experience where you are exploring weird locations, and also have a lot of toys at your disposal to play with that also come with, I would say, a sizable amount of mechanical crunch. So beyond the breathless system and the skill checks, you've also got all these different things that you can do with your suit, and the relationship between stress and the other resources you have really actually creates a lot of interesting, I would say, mechanical choices. So if you are looking for that science-based thriller mystery, and you are comfortable with the certain amount of crunch in your game, and you've got a group of people who are willing to take that journey to the center of the earth with you, Substratum Protocol is a treat of a game. It is on my top 2 play list for 2025. I've only had the opportunity to do a brief solo experience, but looking forward to playing it with a group of people this year. So thanks for everyone for watching this. You can pick up Substratum Protocol at Tabletop Bookshelf. Tabletop Bookshelf is your digital destination for physical TTRPGs, just like Substratum Protocol and all of the other wonderful solo games and other indie TTRPGs that are made by all the great creators in the space. It is an ongoing celebration of all the work being done. It's ever-changing, curated collection. Tune in, check it out. Tabletop Bookshelf.